anything in us. We were swallowed by 4 years of attempted repudiation, of messages of change and hope, carried in on an era of swift and distinct change. Despite an outrageously different 8 years from anything we have known in our collective narrative, we never really have had a national recognition of the particular 400-year commemoration we needed to have. The year 2019 was followed by a year that can only be described as a postmodern idea of Black existence, one completely in need of the wisdom from the past few centuries that exposed all the underlying challenges from before and beyond us. However, I was quite chuffed that no matter what else my inaugural book meant, it stood proudly in defiance at the opening of the Dark Ages. We were here not only before the Mayflower, we were here before the Drumps, and that was not to be forgotten or overlooked. That same era also helped to stall this project. To talk about the cooking gene was to remind people of the Black experience's harrowing journey, bring back an awareness of our accomplishments, and assert a distinctly ethnic branding to our food story over the oft-assumed racial gloss. Meanwhile, all hell was breaking loose, and the growing loss of sleep spoke to our unease. Political scandals came and went like a battery of storms, and many hoped to see the pillars come down. They didn't. Every day was a new flashpoint in the story of Culture Wars 3. Each 24-hour media cycle saw an uptick of red meat policies to punish marginalized, oppressed, and outlier communities. The rising hate crimes and suspicions and anger from one group to another were painful and exhausting. Worse yet, the cloud above us, the knowledge that only disaster that would affect us all could loosen the grip, loomed and indeed on poisoned breaths and invisible biological bombs, came the nasty release of a promiscuous plague. At last, something was present that was crueler to us than we were to one another. I had to absorb some of this energy and motion to render this book honestly without condemning it to the times. This book is not a prisoner of the discourse of the 45th president's rages or of his minions. And at the same time, it is not possible to be liberated entirely from that stain. Even in this reflective moment, the West's original sins of anti-Semitism and anti-Black racism, as well as other forms of white supremacy, used to stir up resentment and anger and fuel conspiracy theories, have merged with continuing impulses towards misogyny, the suppression of the rights of the disabled and mentally ill, the continued struggle of sexual minorities, and the undisguised contempt for those struggling financially and for the working poor. In that nexus, Blacks and Jews and their Venn diagram have seen considerable turmoil and pain, and this, too, is a fundamental ingredient. No matter the national sociopolitical climate, we humans are condemned as long as we breathe to the urge to eat, and when we eat, to find pleasure in the act and define our personal foundation. The Jewish people of the West and the African Atlantic diaspora did not start their journey with exhausting shared pains or weaponized joy in their days. Millennia and centuries have gone by with ample practice. That they and we have all survived yet again is another testimony to whatever magic lies in our traditions. Even when we were starving, our imaginations and hope for redemption formed a feast in our minds that kept us going. We, the outsiders, have time-honored practice at seeking refuge in our pots and peering inside to see ourselves in the days when the outside world erases us. We, the children of the patriarchs and matriarchs of Israel, the children of Mother Africa, are ever finding meaning in our kitchens and our plates to overcome the next chapter of, they tried to kill us, we won, let's eat. I guess. If the cooking gene was a present to African America on the pulse of its birthday, Koshersoul is recovery food. Koshersoul is chicken soup for the soul of Jews of African descent, the American and global Jewish peoplehood, and the folks in between, in a spirit of celebration of our endurance and as a motivation for our healing in the raw and tender moment.